everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I will be doing the introduction for my 2022 project pan. Last year, I did 21 and 21, but this year I just decided to do a normal project 10 pan where I just kind of roll in whatever I feel like rolling in, keeping it to 10 products at a time so that I'm consistently working on different things. I have decided not to limit this exclusively to makeup this year. I wanted to go ahead and include some beauty products as well. And ultimately, I didn't want to do 22 and 22 because I didn't want to make myself have a specific goal in mind for how many goals I wanted to hit. I just kind of want to work on my projects, work on what I own, take my time. I actually worked through a lot of products last year, and so my collection is kind of at a smaller count than I feel comfortable with in some categories. And I'll talk about that a little bit more as I go through my products, but that's part of the reason I didn't want to do 22 and 22 is I'm not really looking to work through a ton of products. I just kind of want to use what I have, continue to hit goals and things like that. I do have a lot of goals to empty things, but I feel like most of the stuff is going to be a little bit more long-term, or it's just kind of to turn over and get some of the stuff out and get my favorite things back into my collection. So we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into this introduction. I will show you the 10 products I'm gonna be starting out working on this year. And as always, I like to go from order of application on. So we're gonna start with a primer. So I decided to roll in my YSL Top Secrets primer. I really like this primer. It is it's a moisturizing, glowing, perfecting primer all in one. I do find that it works really well for me. I like it quite a bit and I will want to repurchase it, but as you can see, it's getting pretty low, and I have a couple of primer samples that I also want to work on getting out of my collection before I repurchase it. So I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and focus on using this one up first, since I've had it, I think I've had it for 6 to 8 months now in my collection. So I want to go ahead and use it before it's been in my collection too long. I like to make sure I'm working through my products so that there's never any chance of my skin reacting negatively to it, especially when it's a primer or a foundation or something like that. So I am going to be working on this one. Here is where I am currently at with this product. Like I said, you can see it's pretty low. I would say I probably only have another 2 or so months with this primer. So I don't think it'll take too long to get it used up, but I just want to focus in on it, make sure I get it used up. That way I can move on to some other primers that I would like to get used. My next product is actually kind of a 2-for-1, and this is my concealing product / category, because I'm going to be working on these 2 concealers together. So this last year I was working on my Rare Beauty concealer in my 21 and 21. And as I mentioned in my finale, I have been using it with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and they pair really well together. Now, neither one is my favorite concealer. I really love the Pat McGrath concealer, and I want to get that one back in my collection. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm using these 2 up. And since I'm using them together, I kind of just decided, you know, they're essentially one concealer for me now because I am using them together. Now, you can't really see any kind of change in this. There's no way to mark it really. You can see maybe a little bit of windowing in there. So, you know, that's really how I'm going to be tracking this, is just, is it drying out? Can you see windowing? How is it going? I have a feeling this will be done before the Rare Beauty concealer, but I just want to go ahead and focus on getting that one used up. And then if you watched my 21 and 21 finale, you would have seen where this is. I did change my washi tape on it, but this is where I am starting on this one. I got that far. I got from up here to here in just 2 months this last year. So I don't feel like it's gonna take too long to finish this one up either. These are the only 2 concealers that I own currently. So I will be using them every single day. I think that I will go ahead and repurchase a concealer sooner rather than later, just so I have it ready for when I do run out of these. However, I want to make sure that I'm using them up because, like I said, they're just not my favorite. They're good and I really like them paired together, but I would rather use my favorite concealers. So I'm gonna focus on getting these used up so that I can move on to having my favorite concealer back in my collection. Next up is another product that I will be rolling over from my project last year, which is my Maybelline City Bronzer. I was using this last year and I went from having just a small amount of pan to having this much pan. So I feel like I can get through this bronzer pretty quickly. And I really do love it. I think it's really wonderful. It's what I wear today. It's subtle. It's not a super heavy bronzer, but I'm really pale, so a lighter shade like this really works very well on me. I have a feeling that this will only take me a couple of months as well. I'm gonna have to repress it pretty soon, I think, but I want to go ahead and work through this one. I have a couple of other bronzers in my collection that I want to make sure I'm using up before I purchase any new ones, so this is just my first priority. I want to get through this guy, I want to empty it up, and hopefully it won't take me too long. Next up is my highlighter, and last year I was working through my NARS Fort de France and discovered that it just was taking far too long. It was in the project from January to December, didn't finish it like I thought I would, and I still have a ton of product left, but we are going to continue on the trend of NARS, and I'm going to focus on emptying out my NARS Atomic Blonde palette. This is what it is currently looking like in here. I have used it a bunch. As you can see, there is a good pan in there. It's nothing too huge, but there is a pretty good divot around it. So I have a feeling that it's gonna empty out pretty quickly. I will probably repress this at some point into a smaller container. If you are watching my Pan Those Eyeshadow Palette series, you will know that I am working on these eyeshadows in that project as well. So one of my big goals for this year is to finally empty this whole thing out. I worked through the bronzer in my 2021 last year, and I want to work through the highlighter in this project this year. I have a feeling it's going to take a long time. I don't know if it's going to take the whole year, but this has significantly less product in it than the regular sized NARS highlighter. So I have a feeling I think I can get through this one. I think I genuinely can. If I can't, that's okay. I will continue to be working on a highlighter. I do have a lot of highlighters in my collection, so I make sure that I'm rotating through them pretty regularly alongside working on one in a project. But I wanna make sure that I'm using this up. I wanna get this whole palette out of my collection, so I'm going to be focusing on this highlighter for this year. Continuing on the NARS train, I am going to be working on my NARS Sex Appeal blush this year. I also worked on this in my 2021 project and I hit pan in it, so this is what it's looking like right now. My goal with this, however, is just to use it 100 times within the project and just see where I can get to. It is a pretty thin amount of product around the pan, so I think that I can get a really nice sized pan in here with the 100 uses. Maybe I'll even be able to repress it at some point. Maybe I'll get it to a point where it's just so thin and so used that I could repress it. I don't know that I'll try to empty it this year. I'm pretty happy with where my blush collection is at, but I just want to get some good use on this and see where we can get to in 100 uses. Next, we are going to be talking about another product that I have rolled over from last year's project, and that is my Bobbi Brown Gel Liner. If you watched, this was in all last year, and I just really want to focus on getting this used up this year. I made such good progress last year, and I was so proud of it. It was drying up towards the end, so I went ahead and I took my metal spatula and just scooped it up and kind of like mixed it, and found that the rest of the product, like it was just like the top surface was getting dry. And so I mixed it up and it's now basically brand new, it feels like. So it is kind of dirty in here, but this is what it's currently looking like. I feel like it's almost a brand new product with how it's just like revitalized by just mixing it together. So if you have a product like this and it seems to be getting dried out, just mix it up and it should be just as good as ever. I do want to try to empty this. I think it's going to take me a long time. It might take me the whole year, but I really was very happy with being able to use it as much as I did last year. I used it over 200 times. I want to make sure I'm using this as much as possible, and I'm just really excited to have such an accomplishment under my belt. Next up, I am going to be rolling in another product from last year, which is my KKW Beauty Lip Liner in Nude 1. I was using this last year and I just wanted to use it 45 times. And this year I am rolling it in with another usage goal. However, this time I want to use it 60 times. This is currently where I'm at with it in my notebook. I'm starting up here and I just want to see where I can get to with 60 uses. I think I used like probably around that much with 45 uses, so I can't see that I'll get much farther than here, but I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to use this, that I'm not neglecting it. It is on the older side, and I want to make sure that I'm actually moving through it. So I just decided to go ahead and roll this one in. I put it at 60 uses. It'll take me a while to do that. I'm not going to use this on a daily basis like I will with the concealer. So there's no way I'm going to move through this in just 2 months. But I'm thinking like maybe 4 or 5 months, and then I'll be able to roll this one out. My next product is my Fenty Gloss Bomb. This is the original Fenty Glow shade. I've had this in my collection before and I repurchased it because I really liked it. However, I learned I don't like this formula as much as I like the Tower 28 formula and the M Cosmetics gloss formulas. So I want to go ahead and use this guy up. Now it is pretty far at the start, so it's going to take me a little while. Like I said, I do like this gloss. I really like the color. I'm wearing it today. It is a really nice gloss. It just doesn't feel as nice as some of those other glosses. So I want to go ahead and use this guy up so that I can bring those other glosses into my collection. I don't know how long it'll take me to use this because glosses never take as long as you think they're going to take. However, I'm not going to just plow through this one because I have a lot of other lip products now that I really like. I worked through basically all my lip products last year and decided to just refresh my lip category. So pretty much all my lip products now I absolutely love, and I even really like this one. It's just not my favorite, so I want to go ahead and focus in on this one. I'm thinking 5 or 6 months it'll take me to get this used up. Just because again, I don't really want to be like, oh, only use this lip gloss. I actually want to use my other products as well, but I want to focus on this one. Now moving into the last 2 products and my 2 beauty products. First of which is a lip balm, which could still be considered part of my lip category, but it is a little bit different. This is my CO Bigelow Rose Salve. I've had this for so long, and I just want to make sure that I actually use it up. It's not my favorite. I much prefer the Laneige lip balm to this one, and there's even been a few other lip balms that I've tried that I much prefer, but I have it. I want to make sure I use it up. So I try to use this when I'm doing my makeup every morning, but sometimes I forget. So I want to put this in the project to make sure that I'm actually using it. So this is where I am currently at. You can see I've used over half of this, which is really awesome. I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually work through the rest of it because it did take me a while to get there. I have a feeling this will be one of those long-term, maybe full year products. But again, I just kind of want to see how long it takes me. I want to make sure that I have something reminding me, hey, you need to be using this. And I like having the opportunity to see visible progress with my tracking. All right, and last but not least, I have decided to roll a perfume in. Now, you will notice this is in the ColourPop Pretty Fresh bottle, so that is not a perfume. That is actually the setting spray. I have gone through so many of these setting sprays, but I decanted my perfume into this bottle because the original bottle had broken. So I want to go ahead and make sure I use it up. This is the Elizabeth & James Nirvana Amethyst perfume. I bought this originally for my wedding back in 2019. I really love this scent. It's great, but again, the bottle broke. So I want to make sure that I'm using it up before it goes bad because I know that a clear bottle is not as good for it. And also, it's not in its original bottle, so I want to make sure that I'm using it up. This is where I'm at with it. I'm kind of treating it a little bit like a body spray. It is too intense to actually use like a body spray, but you know, I'm just spraying on a couple of spritzes in the morning and it lasts me pretty much all day. Sometimes I reapply in the evening if I'm going somewhere. But again, I just want to focus on getting this used up this year. And I don't know how long it's going to take me, but it's kind of like the lip balm. Just having a reason to track it will help me see how fast I'm using it. So hopefully it won't take me too long, but I will be working on getting this one rolled out. So those are my 10 products for this project this year. I do have a quick bonus mention product that I'd like to talk about. I am going to be working on this nail polish. I am wearing it today. It is the Lights Lacquer Jeffa, I think is the name of it. And I really like it, but I'm not much of a nail person. I like having my nails done, but I hate the process of applying nail polish. And I only have this and then one other color from Lights Lacquer. I think it's rosy and it's like a nice brown, but I want to make sure that I'm using these nail polishes up. So I'm just going to mention this in here. And as I have progress on it, I'm going to continue to update you on it, but you will be seeing me wearing this nail polish as much as possible this year. But this is just kind of an honorable mention of I'm going to be working on this. I'll give you an update as I'm making really steady progress on it. It's gonna take forever because I don't love painting my nails. But again, just something to kind of say, hey, by the way, I will be working on this. I'll let you know when it's empty, and you'll be seeing this color a lot. So that is everything for this project. That is the introduction. I'm very excited to be working on all of these products. I think it'll take me a little while to get through any of them. I don't think I'm gonna have any rollouts next month, but I wanted to go ahead and get started on these products, get going on them because they will be a little bit longer term, I think. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate the time that you give me and these videos. I love having you in this community, and I'm always so thankful for your comments and your kindness. I hope you've been having a wonderful start to 2022, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.